Okay, I have to say this today because I literally just left service about maybe an hour or so ago. But I have to say this about selfish people and how the world that we live in right now is in such a moral decline. Humanity is just sickening sometimes. And I have to say this now because, again, I just cannot believe how selfish people are. So I just left a church that I'm actually visiting. I visited this church today and at Free Chapel Midtown. So shout out to Pastor Rob Stella, who's campus pastor there, and Pastor Jensen Franklin. Great message today. He talked about how much of a moral decline we are in this world, in this nation, and how we need to stand up to some of the things that are going on around us, some of the atrocities that are being committed, especially as it relates to the innocence of our children, with them forcing them to accept these sexual inundations that they are emitting in our school systems, in addition to the transgender issue that we are under this pandemic as it relates to that as well. And I know it's not a popular topic and no one wants to address it, no one wants to talk about it. But we have to stand up for what's righteous. That's not even why I'm on here, though. But the message was great. And that's not what the whole message was. So don't take a clip of this and then blast it and say that this is what the message was about. The message was about the moral decline of humanity, how we are very selfish, how we're very savage oriented, and we don't care about one another. All we care about is what helps us, what makes us feel great. So I'm on my way home from this service, and I almost hit this car literally because the car is in the bend of a really sharp curve, and no lights, no flashes on it, anything. And so I had to whip around the car. And as I'm whipping around the car, I noticed that the car was wrecked. And there's this woman and I'm saying this for a purpose. She's a white Caucasian woman that's standing over to the right, obviously in distress on the phone. So I automatically assume she probably is on the phone with the police. She's probably okay. But she's the only car there. So I'm like, her car is wrecked. Her airbag is deployed. No one else is around. No one's helping. So I go around, but I get convicted personally. Like, go check on her. I turn around. I go back. When I get back there, and I'm like, this is happening within minutes. I turn around after I turn around and I go back. She's standing there. There is a car parked in front of her. So this black man is helping her. So I get out after I turn around and back up behind, pull in behind her. I kind of put my car in the street in the bend of the curve and put my flashers on. So hopefully, whoever is coming around the curve will see that there's a car in distress. So I get out the car, I go check on her. She is frantic, shaking. You could tell she's like traumatized. So he's already there talking to her. I was like, what is going on? You okay? Have you called the police? Are they coming? She's like, AAA is on the way. She did call the police, and I was like, "How long ago was that?" She was like, "I mean, it was a while ago." And I'm like, "Somebody should have come by now." So I called the police again. The dispatcher, who has an attitude, yeah, some just tell her the police is on the way. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Well, she's really frantic and freaking out, and she's sitting here in the middle of the road. Nobody's helping her. We just stopped." So the gentleman tells me that she had been there an hour. I said, and no one stopped to check and see if you are okay? Like, not nobody? This is insane. And I know this may be extreme to some people. It's like, oh, it's not that serious. It really is a testament of how selfish we as humans are, that you don't care about the livelihood, the safety, or even the sanctity of today being Sunday, which is the national day for the Sabbath for most people that are in religion. We celebrate Shabbat, so we actually have started doing services on Saturdays. But today I was compelled to go visit a church today. And I cannot believe that nobody stopped to help this woman. So finally, the police get there, and he's like, "Okay, we'll handle it from here or whatever." But I'm explaining. He walks up to me and he's like, "What is going on? What happened?" And I explained from my perspective what happened, And he's like, so this is your car? I'm like, yes, I literally put my flashes on because this curve is dangerous. Like somebody could hit her again. So anyway, to make a longer story short, they say they have it from here. So the guy walks over to me and was like, man, I just cannot believe nobody stopped to help her. I was like, me either. And he's like, I'm a pastor. I said, well, I'm in ministry too. I can't believe nobody stopped. I'm like, well, thank God that you had a heart today to stop. So shout out to Pastor Robert Warren. He gets the Medal of Honor for the Good Samaritan of the day for turning around and stopping to help this woman in distress. He was still there when I left. And I just want to say to you guys, if you are out there and you see people in need, and you have the ability and the capacity, the time and the resources to help someone in need, do it. Do it. It doesn't take but a few minutes for you to be nice or kind to somebody. Get off your selfish horse. Get off your Louis bags and Gucci and all this stuff that we pay attention to. Get off your social media and Facebook and all of these devices that have you distracted from being human, and check on somebody for a change. It only takes you a few minutes. I cannot believe how much of a decline that we're in as humans, and we're not paying attention to these things. It's really disgusting. It really is. Can you imagine if that was your sister or your brother or your wife or a loved one or a friend that was in need and nobody stopped to help them? Can you imagine that? What if it was you? What if your cell phone that you love so much and stay on so much died on you and you couldn't call help? And all these cars kept passing you along and not paying attention to the fact that you were in need, not even caring that you were in need, and just assuming, like I almost did, she's probably already called the police. But even if she did, what would it hurt to go and just make sure? And this is just something on a really light level. I see these types of attitudes and behaviors with humanity all of the time. We're very selfish, and it is really disgusting. It really is. And I just cannot believe how disgusting we can be. So I just want to challenge you out there to help someone else in need. Be a good Samaritan for a change. Do something for someone else for a change. And for the love of God, please let us all try to come together in unity and be there for one another and whatever way you can. And to exemplify what human decency looks like, because we're not always decent as humans. We do things that we should not do. We say things that we should not say. We give our attention to things that we should not give our attention to. And if you are in the body of the ecclesia, then please get off of the camera. Stop trying to be in the front. Do something with nobody. And this is not about me. This is not about me stopping and helping nobody. I'm disgusted at the fact that I was one of the only ones who cared enough. And I think that's sad. She had been out there an hour. So get off of whatever platform you're on long enough to be kind enough to someone else to extend a helping hand. That's really all this is about. And I hope that even just by this message, that you decide today to be a good Samaritan for the rest of your days. Because you never know when you're going to be one that's going to be in need, that you're going to want someone to want to come and check on you. And that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this message. Thank you, Mommy. I see you on here. Dexter, thank you. God bless you. And good night.